Imagine a world where women are not equal to men. Hard to believe, isn't it? But this was the reality before Ruth Bader Ginsburg stepped into the picture. Born in 1933 in Brooklyn, New York, Ruth was a bright spark from the beginning. As she navigated her early education, she was constantly reminded of the limitations society placed on her because of her gender. Undeterred, she married Martin Ginsburg, a supportive force who believed in her potential. Together, they decided to tread an unconventional path. Ruth enrolled in law school, a domain largely dominated by men. Here, she was met with blatant gender discrimination, a stark reminder of the world's unequal scales. But Ruth was not one to back down. She studied tirelessly, fueled by a burning desire to challenge the status quo. She was on a quest, a mission to redefine societal norms. Against all odds, Ruth Bader Ginsburg forged ahead, unaware that she was about to change the world. Ruth Bader Ginsburg wasn't one to be silenced by adversity. Instead, she used it as a fuel to fight for equality. Before gracing the Supreme Court with her presence, Ginsburg was a law professor, and she was beyond extraordinary at it. She didn't just teach law, she inspired change. She ignited a spark in her students, and soon enough, the flame of equality began to burn brighter. But teaching was only the beginning for Ginsburg. Her hunger for justice led her to the American Civil Liberties Union, where she launched the Women's Rights Project in the 1970s. This project wasn't just a passion project for Ginsburg. It was a mission to dismantle the legal barriers that stood in the way of women's equality. And so, she took on case after case, each one a stepping stone towards a more equal world. One of the landmark cases she argued before the Supreme Court was Reed v. Reed, a case that challenged the notion that men were preferred over women in estate matters. Ginsburg argued that the 14th Amendment's Equal Protection Clause did not permit such discrimination. The court ruled in favor of Sally Reed, marking the first time the Supreme Court had struck down a law because of gender-based discrimination. Another notable case was Weinberger v. Wiesenfeld, where Ginsburg argued for a widower's right to survivor benefits under Social Security, which were only provided to widows at the time. Ginsburg argued that this law not only discriminated against men, but also against women, because it was based on the stereotype that women were dependent on men for financial support. The Supreme Court agreed, ruling unanimously in favor of the widower. These cases and many others were bricks in the path Ginsburg was paving towards equality. She used the law as a tool to shape society, to change attitudes, and to challenge the status quo. With every case, with every victory, Ginsburg was slowly but surely changing the face of American law. In 1993, Ginsburg reached the pinnacle of her career, her appointment to the Supreme Court. Nominated by President Bill Clinton, she ascended to the highest court in the land, bringing with her a lifetime of dedication to the cause of gender equality. As a Supreme Court justice, Ginsburg continued to fight for equal rights, her voice echoing through the marble halls of justice. Ginsburg's role on the Supreme Court was anything but quiet. She was known for her sharp dissents and unyielding commitment to justice. Her dissents, often biting and filled with a sharp wit, became a trademark of her tenure. They were more than just disagreements with the majority opinions. They were powerful statements of principle, defending the rights of those who couldn't defend themselves. But Ginsburg was more than just a Supreme Court justice. She transcended her role, becoming a cultural icon. Her image graced t-shirts, coffee mugs, and posters. People dubbed her the notorious RBG, a nod to her tenacity and strength. She was celebrated not just for her legal acumen, but also for her unflinching resilience and unwavering commitment to equality. Ruth Bader Ginsburg was more than just a Supreme Court justice. She was a beacon of hope, a symbol of resilience, and an unyielding advocate for equality. Ruth Bader Ginsburg passed away in 2020, but her legacy lives on. She shattered glass ceilings, forever changing the world for women. Her tireless fight for equality transformed the legal landscape, making it fairer for all. She championed the rights of the marginalized, forever etching her name in the annals of justice. Ruth Bader Ginsburg once said, "Fight for the things that you care about, but do it in a way that will lead others to join you." And indeed, she did just that. She fought, she led, and she left the world a much better place than she found it. Be sure to hit that like or subscribe button and keep being curious, beautiful, and continue learning. Check out some of my other videos and keep staying curious.